Testimony getting started now in the Los Angeles assault trial of hip-hop superstar A$AP Rocky after his defense lawyer told the jury the case is about jealousy and lies and greed caused by Rocky's former childhood friend.
There's talk that Rihanna could potentially end up raising her 2 children by herself over the next 2 decades because A$AP Rocky is in court playing games, and it really isn't looking promising for him to avoid a 24-year prison sentence. This situation comes after he rejected a plea deal that would have required him to serve only 180 days in jail and then complete 3 years probation. Instead, he effectively challenged everyone by pleading not guilty at the very last second. To make everything even worse, it appears that aside from the issues involving A AP Relli, the individual he allegedly attacked, there was also supposed tension between them related to Rihanna. Apparently, Rihanna was trying to get closer to Relli, but Rocky got jealous and started acting out. Sources say Rihanna isn't handling any of this well and may even feel partially responsible for A$AP Rocky ending up in this predicament. For anyone who hasn't been keeping up, A$AP Rocky is currently facing trial for allegedly firing shots at a member of his Always Strive and Prosper crew named Relli. Their conflict arose from a heated dispute over Rocky allegedly abandoning the group after he became famous and failing to help the family following the death of one of the members. This tension had been building for a while, so they decided to meet again in 2021, and that's when it all went downhill. Relli asserts that A$AP Rocky shot at him twice, with 1 bullet grazing his knuckles. However, Rocky pled not guilty, insisting he only used a starter pistol that shoots blanks, not a real firearm loaded with live rounds. Interestingly, what Rocky says lines up with the police reports. When officers searched the scene, they found 0 evidence that an actual gun had been fired. There were no shell casings, no bullet holes, literally nothing. Things get more complicated because you'd expect Relli to drop it after no physical evidence was discovered. But 2 days after the police finished their search, he returned saying he'd recovered shell casings from the scene. Yes, the very same place where the cops had already come up empty-handed. The one piece of proof that does exist is surveillance footage showing A$AP Rocky and Relli in a physical fight. But that footage never shows Rocky firing a weapon. Plus, forensic teams still have not confirmed whether the shell casings that Relli produced even date back to the same day he and Rocky had their altercation. In court, Rocky's lawyer Joe Tacopina pointed out that aside from witness statements, there's 0 physical evidence to support Relli's accusations. He noted the absence of bullet holes, blood, or any shell casings. Basically, nothing tangible indicating a shooting occurred. Relli, meanwhile, kept lamenting that he only saw A$AP Rocky once every 6 months and couldn't believe Rocky would treat him that way. He described how difficult it is to have a relationship with Rocky, calling him a chronic liar. He even referred to him as Mr. 6-month man, since he only saw him twice a year. Relli said he never expected to have a gun in his face, claiming that was the final straw. By the end of the first day of court, Rocky had a chance to accept a plea bargain requiring only 180 days in jail, 3 years of probation, and a couple of smaller penalties. If he had taken it, the case would have wrapped up. But instead, he stood there and entered a not guilty plea, opening himself up to the possibility of serving a 24-year sentence if the jury finds him guilty in the end. Hopefully that won't happen, but if it does, he'll end up making Rihanna a single mom, leaving her and their kids to live without him. Rihanna didn't attend his very first court session, but once Rocky made this plea, she was right there at the next one, fully dressed up and watching as things got more intense. There's speculation that her presence might sway the jury's opinion in his favor. After all, this is Rihanna, and she's wildly popular. Some of the jurors might even be fans, so who knows? Meanwhile, the paparazzi photographed her sneaking out a back door looking stressed, not flashing her usual smile, and seeming quite uninterested in being filmed. One onlooker mentioned she stood there anxiously, scanning the room while waiting for security, while someone else remarked they were forever mad she chose A$AP, as now she's stuck in court supporting him. As if all of this weren't already enough, new reports indicate that the issues between Relli and A$AP Rocky weren't only about Rocky supposedly ditching his crew and providing no support. They also involved a feud over Rihanna herself. As crazy as it sounds, the rumors came from none other than Azelia Banks. It's unclear how she got the details, but she evidently believes in them enough to spill them on the internet. She claimed that once Rocky and Rihanna got together, he wanted to parade Rihanna around in front of his crew to show he had bagged her, taking her up to Harlem to meet them. According to Azelia, that's when Rihanna and Relli met, and apparently got along a bit too well, making Rocky jealous. Days later, Rocky allegedly called Relli, met up with him, and that's when he supposedly jumped him, pulled a gun on him, and the entire feud started. She also said Rocky isn't even really from Harlem, and that he piggybacked on Relli's street credibility. Additionally, she brought up the late A AP Yams from Rocky's crew, insisting Rocky used to bully him while he was alive, driving Yams into a depression that he tried to medicate with pills. According to Azelia, after Yams passed away, Rocky gave Yams' mother just $60,000 to keep quiet about what truly happened to her son. Azelia basically proclaimed that Relli is actually the one who created the A AP Rocky persona, alleging Rocky lied about his Harlem roots. She also claimed Relli was deeply hurt because he believed Rocky to be a real friend, but Rocky ended up hugging him only to pull a gun and threaten him, all because Rihanna was paying attention to Relli. Azelia believes Relli isn't in it for the money, but that he's genuinely upset over the situation. She went as far as to say Rocky is to blame for Yams' overdose by consistently picking on him in front of others and even punching him in the chest, despite knowing he had severe asthma, leading him into deeper depression and drug use. Finally, she said Rocky threw a mere $60,000 at Yams' mother to keep her silent about everything Yams endured. Azelia feels Rocky deserves to go to prison and should face various charges, including attempted murder, illegal firearm possession, fraudulent behavior, inflicting emotional distress, reckless endangerment, and so on. However, this is Azelia Banks we're talking about, and she typically says whatever comes to mind on the internet. So, we have to keep in mind it's all speculation. Online, people are divided on the topic. Some point out that for once, she seems to be speaking coherently and that the story sounds plausible, even if it's not verified. Others note that lots of conflicts between men start over a woman, referencing the Drake Future drama that a few say also revolved around a woman, and that Kendrick ultimately ended, if you know, you know. Now, the big questions are, what do you think about Rihanna allegedly being at the center of this entire situation? And do you believe A$AP Rocky will manage to come out on top in this trial? Or is he facing the next 24 years behind bars? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget to click here to watch another video that's just as messy.